Imagine for a moment that right now, looking at the screen, you are actually fulfilling a contract that you signed before you were born. Yes, your parents, your difficulties, even this minute of reading, all of this was consciously chosen by your soul. Sounds like madness? But what if I proved to you that ancient teachings from Tibetan lamas to Egyptian priests knew about this mechanism thousands of years ago? Let's take an ordinary story. A girl Marina from Moscow. At 32, she experiences a strange feeling. A new job that she was so looking forward to suddenly causes her the deepest melancholy. In the evening, she accidentally stumbles upon a lecture on karmic contracts and suddenly cries. Not from grief, from recognition. She literally dreamed of these office walls in her childhood dreams. This is the moment of awakening, when the soul reminds, we agreed on this lesson. Now let's figure out how this soul store works. Buddhism has an amazing concept of Bardau, an intermediate state between lives. Imagine a huge catalog of possible incarnations, where your higher I flips through the pages like an online store. I'll take this difficult marriage to develop patience, add money problems to the trained faith, and, oh, a great option, being born in a country where there will be a war, but with the opportunity to help hundreds of people. Sounds scary? But at that level of consciousness, we see not pain, but the potential for growth. Here's a real example from the practice of one regressologist. The man was terrified of water. He could hardly take a bath. In a past life, he drowned someone. It is no coincidence that in this life, his job is a lifeguard on the beach. The soul deliberately chose the scenario. Now he saves dozens of people from water, working off that karma. The Gnostics generally consider the earth a kind of school of souls. Their sacred texts describe a moment of choice. The soul stands before a kind of hologram of the future life and feels, yes, this set of tests will allow me to work out specific lessons. The Hindu Bhagavad Gita compares this to putting on new clothes. The body changes, the essence remains. But the most interesting mechanism is described in Hermeticism. Remember the principle, as above, so below? So, before incarnation, the soul creates an energy matrix, something like a blueprint of the future life. And now you are literally surrounded by clues, repeating numbers on clock, random phrases of passers-by, even a falling mug. All these are bookmarks that you yourself have placed for your awakening. Here's your homework. Today, before going to bed, ask yourself, what 3 events of the day could be part of my contract? Write down the first thoughts that come to you. After a week of such notes, you will begin to see a pattern. One of my friends discovered that her daily traffic jams were a specially created situation for learning patience. As soon as she realized this, the traffic jam stopped. What to do with this knowledge? First, stop complaining. Is your boss a tyrant? Perhaps you yourself asked him to be your teacher. Second, start thanking even problems. They're your personal trainer. And most importantly, remember, if you are reading this, it means that your soul has decided it's time to wake up. Right now, have you ever noticed how in the most difficult moments of life, something inexplicably good happens? Here's the story of Sergei. He lost his job, was in despair, but it was then that he accidentally met his future wife in a line for coffee. Now he is sure this was not an accident, but part of his soul's contract. Let's look at a specific mechanism for choosing a life. The Tibetan Book of the Dead describes how the soul sees several possible futures at once. She chooses not based on the principle of easy, difficult, but on a crystal clear intention. In which option can I grow the most? Imagine that you are choosing between 2 films, one easy and pleasant, the other difficult but deep. Your soul will always choose the second option. Here is an exercise that I give to all my students. Take the most painful situation from your life and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what did it teach me? Second, how did it change my character? Third, what doors did it open? When Olga did this with her divorce, she discovered something amazing. It was after the separation that she started her business, which she had dreamed of for 10 years. Her soul literally removed a crutch in the form of her husband to make her believe in herself. There's an amazing analogy in ancient Vedic texts. The soul chooses a body for itself before birth, like a car for a race. You wouldn't take an old wreck to Formula One, would you? The soul also selects the optimal conditions: country, family, body features, everything for passing a specific track. One of the most shocking moments is that we choose our parents ourselves. Yes, even those who hurt us. In the Indian tradition, it is believed that the soul specifically goes to difficult parents to work off karmic debts. Aliona's story. She hated her alcoholic mother until she saw in a regression session that in her past life, she herself was, and now she came to experience the other side with the same mother. And now the most important thing: how to recognize the signs of your contract. Here are 3 non-obvious signs. 1. Déjà vu is not a matrix glitch, but the soul's memory of the plan. 2. Random coincidences, when the right book falls off the shelf. 3. Inexplicable craving for a certain culture or era. My childhood friend raved about Japan all his life, although there was not a single Asian in his family. At 30, he learned that in a past life he was a samurai. This explained his strange habit of sitting in the lotus position before important decisions. Now take a break and listen to your body. A slight tingling in the chest, goosebumps. This is your soul giving a signal. You are on the right path. In Hermeticism, this is called signs of synchronicity, when the universe winks at you through events. Remember, if some situation repeats itself in your life like a broken record, it is not a punishment, but an important lesson. Until you learn it, your soul will put you in the same circumstances. Like that girl who got into relationships with abusers 3 times until she realized that she had to learn to say no. Here's another practice for you. Every morning, opening your eyes, say, "Today I notice signs of my soul." In the evening, write down everything unusual. In a month, you will see a clear pattern. One of my clients discovered that all the important turns in her life happened on the 18th. Now she knows. This is her day for fateful decisions. And finally, the main secret. Your current moment is exactly what you chose. This text, this video, even your doubts, all part of the plan. When you truly understand this, life will cease to be a series of accidents and turn into a conscious journey. So the next time something unfair happens, ask yourself, what superpower does my soul want to develop through this? The answer will come, perhaps in the form of a random phrase from a stranger or a dream. After all, you yourself placed all these clues, even before birth. Have you ever wondered why some people are born into luxury, while others are born into poverty? Why does fate give someone ideal parents, while others suffer from cruelty from childhood? The answer is shocking. It is not an accident or an injustice of the universe. It is a conscious choice of your soul. Imagine a huge library, where instead of books there are thousands of possible lives. Your higher self stands in front of these shelves and chooses. In this incarnation, I want to learn compassion. That means I need a life with a difficult childhood. And here I can work off the karma of power. That means I will choose to incarnate in the body of a ruler. Here's a real story. Andre was born with a congenital heart disease. He spent his entire childhood in hospitals, underwent 3 operations. When he first got to a regression session, he saw himself in a past life, a healthy but callous banker who mercilessly ruined people. His current suffering turned out to be not a punishment, but an opportunity, a chance to develop compassion and wisdom, which he so lacked in his past incarnation. In ancient esoteric teachings, it is said, before birth, the soul gathers a council of its wisest incarnations. Together they decide which lessons are most important now. It is like a meeting of shareholders of your soul, where they discuss the strategic development plan for the next quarterly life. Try it right now. Close your eyes and ask, why did MY's soul choose this life? The first thought, image, or sensation is the answer. One woman, asking herself this question, suddenly clearly saw the image of a mountain. A week later, she accidentally met a climber who told her about an accident in the mountains on her birthday. It was a sign. Her soul had overcome the fear of death. In the Vedic scriptures, there is an amazing story about King Bardau. After living as a powerful ruler, his soul incarnated in the body of a deer to learn humility, then in a hermitage to learn wisdom. This is a path of the soul, to master different roles until all the lessons are completed. Now, do a simple exercise. Take a piece of paper and divide it into 2 columns. In the first, write, what I was given in this life. In the second, what can this teach me? For example, talent for drawing, developing a creative vision of the world. Conflict at work, ability to defend boundaries. Loneliness, opportunity to know yourself. When Marina from Moscow did this exercise, she discovered an amazing pattern. All her problems were a mirror of her own unresolved issues from past lives. And now the most important thing. Your soul did not just choose this life. It continues to lead you. Remember the moments when you felt that something is leading you, when the right person suddenly appears, or a door opens that you never dreamed of. That is your soul fulfilling a contract. A friend of mine told me how at 40, he suddenly quit his profitable business and went to India. It was like someone was pushing me in the back, he said. There he met a teacher who showed him the records of his past lives. It turns out that 500 years ago, he made a vow to return to this place for enlightenment. Your soul is wiser than you can imagine. It knows that wealth without wisdom is a curse. That love without trials is a superficial feeling. That talent without discipline is a vain gift. So it chooses for you exactly those conditions in which you can become the best version of yourself. The next time you face a difficulty, say, thank you. So you know what you are doing, and watch how accidentally a solution, help, or new understanding appears. After all, this is the magic of your own contract, which you signed even before your first breath in this world. Remember, you are not a victim of circumstances. You are a wise creator who chose this path for your growth. And now, reading these lines, you are doing exactly what you planned, even before you were born. Have you ever noticed how, at the most unexpected moments, life seems to throw you the very book that you need now? Or how a random passerby suddenly says a phrase that answers your inner question? These are not coincidences. This is your soul leading you along the route that you yourself laid out before birth. Let's take the story of Anna, a successful lawyer who, at 35, suddenly began to see dreams in an unfamiliar language. After months of searching, she learned that it was ancient Greek. During a regression session, she remembered, in a past life, she was a philosopher and made a vow to complete her work on justice in this incarnation. Now she is writing a book on law, combining modern knowledge with the wisdom of that philosopher. Her soul simply reminded her of the contract. There is an amazing ritual in the Tibetan tradition. Before birth, the soul is shown a life map. This is not a linear path, but rather a landscape with many paths. You yourself mark key points, meetings, trials, moments of awakening, like in a navigator, where you have added important addresses in advance, but you will build a route in the process. Try a simple experiment tonight. Take 3 sheets of paper. On the first, write, what do I want to understand in this life? On the second, what qualities does my soul ask me to develop? On the third, what strange coincidences have I noticed? Hide them under your pillow. In the morning, without thinking, write down your first dream or thought upon waking up. After a week of such notes, you will see amazing patterns. The ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead describes the moment when the soul drinks from the river of oblivion before incarnation, to forget about the contract and pass the experience cleanly. But the sages said, memory can be awakened. The story of Dmitri, according to the contract, he was supposed to become a doctor, like his ancestors, but his soul longed for creativity. At 40, he abruptly changed his profession. He began to create unique musical instruments, and he discovered that his hands remember movements that he had never learned. This is a harmonious combination of the contract and free will. Now pay attention to your body. Where do you feel tension? Perhaps this is the mark of your contract. Migraines? You have come to develop the power of thought. Back pain? A lesson in accepting the support of the universe. In Ayurveda, it is believed that diseases are encrypted messages from the soul. Here is a powerful exercise for you. Every time you feel pain, ask, what do you want to tell me? Write down the first images. One man discovered that his arthritis was connected with a past life as a sculptor. His soul asked to start sculpting again. When he followed this, the pain went away. Your contract is not a sentence, but a wise plan, like a gardener who knows that roses need thorns, and a cactus needs drought to reveal their true nature. Your soul has chosen exactly those conditions in which you can blossom. When you realize this, life will cease to be a struggle and become an exciting quest. Every day will bring clues. Every person will bring lessons. Every difficulty will bring opportunities. Because this is your path, the path you chose for yourself, even before you took your first breath in this world.